Hi everyone, it's Ryan. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going on a super cool adventure to learn about inventions. Inventions are all around us. Can you look around and see what things are inventions? Did you know that someone had to use their imagination and creativity to invent everything we use? Get ready to be amazed by some of the coolest inventions. We're going to be learning about the history of famous inventions and the awesome inventors who made them. Are you ready to learn? Let's go! First up is the light bulb. Can you imagine a world without light bulbs? It would be pretty dark, right? Before Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, people used candles and lanterns to see at night. My mommy and daddy told me that they used to read bedtime stories using flashlights. Candles weren't as bright as light bulbs, and they could be dangerous because you had to be so careful not to start a fire. Plus, you had to keep replacing them when they burned out. It would be so hard to read a comic book with only a candle. Let's learn about the inventor who helped us see better. Meet Thomas Edison, a brilliant inventor who loved to experiment. He knew there had to be a better way to light up our homes. He worked super hard, and guess what? He finally invented the first practical light bulb. It wasn't easy though. Fun fact. Did you know that Edison tested over 1,000 materials before finding the right one for his light bulb filament? That's a lot of tries. Thanks to Edison's amazing invention, we can see clearly at night and do all sorts of fun things. What's your favorite thing to do when it's dark outside? Have you ever talked to your grandparents on the phone, or maybe you've video chatted with your friends? Before Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, people couldn't talk to each other over long distances. Can you imagine that? They had to write letters which took a super long time to be delivered, or send messengers to deliver messages. It must have been so hard to wait for so long to hear back from someone. What do you think they did when they missed each other? Alexander Graham Bell also wanted to find a way to help people communicate more easily. He was super interested in sound and how it traveled. He worked really hard, and finally, he invented the first working telephone. Can you say, hello? Fun fact, the first words ever spoken on the telephone were, Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you. Bell said this to his assistant, Mr. Watson, who was in another room. It's amazing how one invention changed the way we talk to each other. What do you like to talk about on the phone? Hey everyone, it's Ryan! Have you ever wanted to fly like a bird? People have been dreaming about flying for ages, like way back in the day. Can you imagine only being able to travel by walking or riding horses? It took a long time, but finally two brothers named Orville and Wilbur Wright made that dream come true. They built the first ever airplane. Can you believe it? They worked really hard in their bicycle shop using all sorts of tools and pieces to build their flying machine. They called it the Wright Flyer. It wasn't easy though. They had to learn all about wind and balance to make sure their plane could actually fly. Let's learn more about their amazing invention. The Wright brothers chose a windy spot called Kitty Hawk, North Carolina for their first flight. This location was not chosen by chance. The brothers meticulously researched various sites before settling on Kitty Hawk. They needed a place with strong, consistent winds to help lift their experimental aircraft off the ground. The sandy dunes also provided a soft landing area, which was crucial for their safety during these early attempts. They thought the wind would help lift their plane into the air. The Wright brothers understood that the wind could provide the necessary lift to get their plane airborne. This was a critical factor in their decision-making process. They had spent years studying the principles of flight, including the importance of lift, thrust, and drag. The wind at Kitty Hawk was a natural ally in their quest to achieve powered flight. On December 17, 1903, Orville climbed aboard the Wright Flyer. This was a momentous day, not just for the Wright brothers but for the entire world. The Wright Flyer was a marvel of engineering for its time, featuring a lightweight frame and a custom-built engine. Orville and Wilbur had spent countless hours designing, building, and testing their aircraft. Now it was time to see if their hard work would pay off. Can you imagine how nervous he must have been? The weight of their dreams and years of hard work rested on this single flight. Orville knew that success would change the course of history, but failure could mean the end of their aviation ambitions. The pressure was immense, but so was their determination. He started the engine, and the plane soared into the sky. The engine roared to life, and the propellers began to spin. Slowly, the Wright Flyer lifted off the ground, defying gravity. It was a sight to behold, a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. The brothers had done it. They had achieved powered flight. It only stayed up in the air for 12 seconds, and it only flew about 120 feet, but those 12 seconds were monumental. In that brief moment, the Wright brothers proved that controlled, powered flight was possible. It was a small step in terms of distance, but a giant leap for aviation, which is about the length of a Boeing 737 airplane. To put it in perspective, the distance they covered was roughly the same as the length of a modern commercial airliner. It's incredible to think how far we've come since that first flight. But it was a huge moment in history. That first flight marked the beginning of a new era. The Wright brothers' success inspired countless others to pursue the dream of flight. It was a turning point that would lead to rapid advancements in aviation technology. That's right, the first airplane flight was only 12 seconds long. It may seem like a fleeting moment, but those 12 seconds were filled with significance. They represented years of hard work, experimentation, and innovation. The Wright brothers had turned the impossible into reality. It might not seem like a long time, but it changed the world forever. The impact of that first flight cannot be overstated. It paved the way for the development of modern aviation, transforming how we travel, connect, and experience the world. The Wright brothers' achievement was a catalyst for progress, sparking a wave of innovation that continues to this day. Because of the Wright brothers, we can now fly all over the world in airplanes. How cool is that? Today, air travel is an integral part of our lives. We can cross continents in a matter of hours, explore new cultures, and connect with people from all corners of the globe. The Wright brothers' legacy lives on in every flight we take, reminding us of the power of human ingenuity and the endless possibilities of innovation. Hey everyone, Ryan here! Have you ever wondered how people read books before there were printing presses? It's a fascinating story that takes us back to a time when every book was a precious and rare artifact. It's actually pretty amazing. Before the printing press, every single book had to be copied by hand. Imagine a world where there were no printers, no digital screens, and no easy way to reproduce text. Monks and scribes would spend countless hours meticulously copying each word, each letter, and each illustration by hand. Can you imagine writing out an entire book with just a pen and paper? Not just any pen, but a quill made from a bird's feather, and ink that had to be carefully prepared. The process was incredibly labor-intensive and required a great deal of skill and patience. It would take so long. It could take months or even years to copy just one book. The scribes had to be extremely careful to avoid mistakes, as even a small error could mean starting a page all over again. This painstaking process made each book a unique work of art. Wow, that's a super long time. Because each book took so much time and effort, books were very rare and expensive. Libraries were few and far between, and owning a book was a sign of great wealth and status. These manuscripts were often adorned with beautiful illustrations and gold leaf, making them even more valuable. Only really rich and important people had a lot of books. Kings, queens, and wealthy nobles would collect these precious volumes, and having a large library was a symbol of power and knowledge. For the average person, access to books and the knowledge they contained was extremely limited. But then, along came a man named Johannes Gutenberg, who changed everything. Gutenberg was a German blacksmith, goldsmith, printer, and publisher who introduced printing to Europe. His invention revolutionized the way information was shared and made books more accessible to everyone. He invented something incredible: the printing press. This machine allowed for the mass production of books, which meant that they could be made faster and more cheaply than ever before. The printing press used movable type, which could be rearranged and reused, making the process much more efficient. Let's find out how this amazing invention works. The printing press used a system of movable type, where individual letters and characters could be arranged to form words and sentences. Ink was applied to the type, and then paper was pressed onto it to transfer the ink, creating a printed page. This method allowed for the rapid production of multiple copies of the same text, revolutionizing the spread of knowledge and ideas. Gutenberg's printing press used special metal blocks with letters on them called type. These metal blocks were meticulously crafted to ensure that each letter was uniform and clear. The process of creating these blocks was an art in itself, requiring precision and skill. Gutenberg's innovation wasn't just in the press, but in the creation of these reusable type blocks, which could be arranged and rearranged to form any text imaginable. He could arrange these blocks to create words and sentences just like a puzzle. Imagine the possibilities this opened up. Before this invention, books were painstakingly copied by hand, a process that could take months or even years for a single volume. With Gutenberg's press, the same text could be reproduced quickly and accurately, revolutionizing the way information was shared. Once the type was arranged, he would cover it with ink and press a piece of paper on top. The inking process was crucial. Too much ink and the letters would blur, too little, and they wouldn't print clearly. Gutenberg perfected this balance, ensuring that each page was legible and consistent. This method allowed for the mass production of texts, something that was previously unimaginable. This would transfer the ink to the paper, creating a printed page. Each page was a mirror image of the type, capturing every detail. This process could be repeated over and over, producing multiple copies of the same text with ease. The ability to produce identical copies was a game-changer, ensuring that information could be disseminated widely and accurately. Gutenberg's printing press was much faster than copying books by hand. Scribes, who had been the keepers of knowledge for centuries, could only produce a limited number of books in their lifetime. The printing press changed all that, making it possible to produce hundreds, even thousands of copies in the time it would take a scribe to complete just one. Now, people could make hundreds of copies of a book in a fraction of the time. This not only made books more available, but also more affordable. The cost of books dropped significantly, making them accessible to a broader audience. This democratization of knowledge had profound implications for society, paving the way for the spread of literacy and education. That meant more people could learn to read and share their ideas. The spread of printed materials fostered a culture of learning and intellectual exchange. People from different walks of life could access the same information, leading to a more informed and connected society. The printing press played a crucial role in the Renaissance, the Reformation, and the Scientific Revolution, as ideas could be shared and debated more widely than ever before. The first book Gutenberg printed was the Bible, and it was a huge success. The Gutenberg Bible was not only a religious text, but also a symbol of the new era of mass communication. Its production demonstrated the potential of the printing press and set a standard for future publications. The quality and beauty of the Gutenberg Bible showed that printed books could rival the finest manuscripts. From then on, printing presses spread all over the world, and books became more affordable and accessible to everyone. The impact of Gutenberg's invention cannot be overstated. It laid the foundation for the modern knowledge economy, enabling the rapid spread of ideas and information. As printing technology evolved, it continued to shape the course of history, influencing everything from politics to science to culture. The legacy of Gutenberg's big idea lives on in every printed page we read today. Hey everybody, it's Ryan! Have you ever seen a train chugging down the tracks or a giant ship sailing across the ocean? Those machines need a lot of power to move, and that's where the steam engine comes in. Before the steam engine, people relied on animals, water wheels, or windmills for power, but those methods weren't always reliable and they couldn't produce a lot of energy. But then a Scottish inventor named James Watt came along and changed everything. He didn't actually invent the first steam engine, but he made it way, way better. Watt's steam engine used hot steam to push a piston, which then turned a wheel. This simple but powerful design revolutionized the world. Watt's invention came at a perfect time. People were starting to build factories, but they needed a better way to power their machines. The steam engine was the answer. It could power all sorts of machines, from looms that made cloth to trains that carried goods and people across long distances. Wow, that's amazing. The steam engine's impact was huge. It led to the Industrial Revolution, a time of incredible technological advancement. Factories popped up everywhere, new inventions were created, and people started moving to cities for work. Without James Watt and his incredible steam engine, the world would be a very different place today. We might not have cars, airplanes, or even electricity as we know it. Hey everyone, it's Ryan! We just learned about some awesome inventions, but guess what? There are even more. Have you ever used a computer? They're super cool. Way back in the 1800s, a really smart inventor named Charles Babbage had an idea for a special machine. It wasn't like the computers we use today, but it was a start. His invention helped pave the way for the computers we use to play games, watch videos, and learn. Isn't that awesome? Thank you, Charles Babbage. Have you ever seen a lightning storm? That's electricity in action. Benjamin Franklin, a super cool inventor, wanted to learn all about it. He even did an experiment with a kite and a key during a thunderstorm. It was a little dangerous, so don't try it at home. Because of his discoveries, we have electricity to power our homes, schools, and even our toys. Can you imagine life without lights or video games? Thanks, Benjamin Franklin. Wow, we learned about some amazing inventions today. Can you believe people used to read by candlelight, or write letters when they wanted to talk to someone far away? It's incredible how inventions have changed the world. From the light bulb to the internet, these inventions make our lives easier and more fun. But guess what? The future of inventions is up to you. Maybe you'll be the one to invent a flying car or a robot that does your homework. Think about problems you want to solve or things you wish existed. Do you want to clean your room super fast? Maybe you could invent a cleaning robot. Do you want to visit your friends instantly? Maybe you could invent a teleportation machine. The possibilities are endless. Remember, the most important thing is to use your imagination and never give up on your ideas. You never know what amazing things you could create. Thanks for joining me on this awesome adventure through the history of inventions. I had so much fun learning with you. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more exciting adventures. Bye for now, and keep on inventing.